All right, so let's dive into this. This idea of meeting women as an introvert, right? And we've got a whole bunch of stuff to go through here. Yeah, we do. Articles, even some Reddit threads from guys who've actually found some success doing this. Absolutely. So I'm excited to kind of unpack all this with you. What's the game plan for this deep dive? So we're going to try to distill all this down into, the most practical tips and insights. Yeah, all while keeping it real and comfortable for our introverted listener out there. Because let's be honest, that whole just put yourself out there thing, totally, that doesn't always work, especially when you're wired for those deeper connections. Yeah, exactly. And one of the sources, actually was a psychology professor. Oh, wow. And he highlighted this fascinating concept. Okay. Called similarity attraction. Yeah. And basically, we are naturally drawn to people who share our interests and our values, and even our, interesting, personality traits. Yeah. Okay. So for introverts who thrive on those deeper connections, right, finding common ground is even more crucial. That makes total sense. Yeah. So instead of just hitting up, random bars or events, whatever, it seems like all these sources are kind of pointing us towards exactly places where you're more likely to find some of those shared interests. Think about it this way, okay? Would you feel more comfortable striking up a conversation at a crowded club, or while browsing the sci-fi fantasy section? Oh yeah, at a bookstore. For me, definitely the bookstore. The hands down, I'm way more likely to chat with somebody, if we're both geeking out over the same author, series or something. Absolutely. And several sources highlighted bookstores and libraries and even museums and art galleries as great spots. Okay. They naturally foster a more introspective and thoughtful vibe, right? Which can be a lot less overwhelming than a packed bar or club. Totally. Okay, so I'm picturing myself, at this cozy bookstore, maybe in the philosophy section. Why not get deep, right? But how do I actually make that first move? Oh, okay. One of the sources mentioned Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. Oh yeah, and I gotta admit, that one kind of intrigued me. It's a simple but powerful technique. Okay. Basically, when you see someone that you would like to talk to, or him, you count down from 5, and then take action. Okay? Don't give yourself time to overthink it. Okay, so just go at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Boom. But that's interesting though. Cause another source, It was a dating coach who specializes in working with introverts, okay? He actually cautioned against forcing interaction, okay? He was really emphasizing the importance of creating that sense of ease and comfort first. That's a really good point, The 5-second rule can be effective, for overcoming initial hesitation, right? But it's also important to be mindful of your own energy levels and social comfort. I can see that, You don't want to come across as desperate, right? Or overly eager. You got to find that balance. Totally. So maybe I'm spanning Michelle's. See if anybody catches my eye, right? If I feel a genuine spark, yes, then I'll try the countdown. Exactly. Trust your intuition. Okay. And remember, observation is a superpower for introverts. Oh, yeah. You can use that to your advantage. Okay. Pay attention to what people are reading, right? Look for subtle cues that might spark a conversation. If someone's wearing a band t-shirt, not a band I love, that's an instant conversation starter. Absolutely. And one Reddit user even suggested, paying attention to the books people are carrying. Oh, he said he once struck up a conversation with a woman, who had a copy of his favorite novel. Wow. And they ended up dating for months. No way. Yeah, that's amazing. It's a true story. See, this is why I love these deep dives. You uncover these little nuggets of wisdom. Total. But bookstores and museums aren't the only options, right? No, they're not. Some of these sources are suggesting we think outside the box a little bit. Yes, one article specifically recommended volunteering or joining classes or workshops, that align with your passions. Oh, I like that. So think about it, If you're passionate about animal welfare, right, volunteering at a shelter not only lets you give back, right, but it also surrounds you with like-minded people. And if you're into photography, exactly, you could join a workshop and connect with somebody who shares your artistic eye. It's brilliant because the shared activity provides a natural foundation. Oh yeah, for conversation. You're already connected by this common interest, right? So the pressure to make small talk is significantly reduced. That takes us back to what you were saying earlier about similarity attraction. Similarity attraction. Feel like you're setting yourself up for success, right? By putting yourself in those environments, totally, where you're more likely to find those people. Yeah, and that brings us to another recurring theme, okay, in these sources. Yeah, the importance of leveraging your existing social circle. Ah, yes, the good old let your friends know you're open to meeting someone advice. Right. I've always been a little hesitant about that one. I understand it could feel a bit awkward, yeah, or like you're putting pressure on your friends to play matchmaker. Exactly, but it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so how do you suggest approaching it? Okay, one source was casually mentioning it at a party or gathering, which I guess feels less forced. Exactly, instead of making it a big announcement, you can simply weave it into conversation, okay? For example, if your friends are talking about their weekend plans, you could say something like, I'm thinking of checking out that new art exhibit. Yeah, if anyone knows any single art enthusiasts, feel free to send them my way. That's good. I like that. Yeah, it's lighthearted, but it puts it out there. Exactly. You never know. Your friends might surprise you. They might. They might have somebody in mind, right, who they think would be a perfect match. Exact. And even if they don't have a specific person, yeah, they might invite you to events, right, or gatherings where you're likely to meet new people. Exact. And as we've already established, yeah, having that familiar face, absolutely in a new environment, it can make all the difference. It can make a huge difference. Huge. It's like having a built-in support system. Exactly. Which can be a game changer for introvert, who might be a little overwhelmed in that big social setting. Yeah. Okay, so we've covered some great starting points. We have embracing shared interests. Yes, leveraging your network. Even a few tactical tips, right, for making that first move. Yeah, but what about actually keeping the conversation going? Okay, once you've broken the ice. Right, that's where I tend to get stuck. That's a common challenge. Yeah, and the sources had some really insightful advice on that front. Okay, one expert, a communication specialist, highlighted the power of active listening. Oh yeah, we're great at listening. Yes, you are. But how do you translate that into a smooth and engaging conversation? So instead of trying to dominate the conversation, okay, or impress someone with your knowledge, right? Focus on truly understanding the other person. So less about rattling off facts, trying to be witty, right? And more about showing genuine interest, exactly what they have to say. And this ties back to that giver's mindset, okay, that one of the articles emphasized. Instead of approaching interactions with the goal of, right, getting a date or a phone number, yeah, focus on creating a genuine connection. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, if you're genuinely interested in getting to know someone, right, the conversation's going to flow more naturally. Absolutely. So what are some practical ways, to show that you're listening, yeah, and engaged? One technique the communication specialist suggested, okay, is called reflective listening. Reflective listening. It involves paraphrasing, okay, or summarizing what the other person has said, right, yeah, to show that you're paying attention, got it, and understanding their perspective. So if somebody's telling me about their passion for hiking, yes, I could say something like, it sounds like you really find a sense of peace and connection with nature, exact, when you're out on the trails. It shows that you're not just hearing their words, right, but actually processing and reflecting on their meaning. And for someone who values deeper connections, that can be incredibly powerful. Okay, I'm getting this active listening, reflective listening, mindset. Exactly. It's all about shifting the focus from what can I get out of this, right, to how can I create a meaningful interaction you got with this person. And another source, a relationship therapist, offered a really interesting perspective on this, okay? She said one of the biggest mistakes, introverts make in dating, is trying to be someone they're not. Oh, I've definitely been there. Yeah, trying to force myself to be more outgoing or talkative than I naturally am. It's understandable we often feel this pressure to conform, right, to certain social expectations, totally in the dating world. Yeah, but the truth is authenticity is far more attractive. That's trying to fit into a mold, right? That doesn't feel genuine. So embrace the introvert superpowers. Yes, one article even called it a secret weapon in dating. It's true. Introverts often bring qualities to the table that are highly valued in relationship. Like what? Like empathy, okay? Deep thinking, the ability to form strong emotional bonds. That's so reassuring to hear. That we've been given this gift. You have. And it's time to start owning it. Exactly. And that leads me to a really important point, okay? That several sources touched on. Yeah. The importance of self-care. Self-care. Dating can be emotionally draining. Oh, yeah. Especially for introverts who need time to recharge or delay after social interaction. Tell me about it. Right. I can handle a few social events in a row. Yeah. But then I definitely need some solo time. Absolutely. To decompress. It's essential to honor those needs. Yeah. Don't feel pressured to constantly put yourself out there. Right. If it's leaving you feeling depleted. Right. Make sure you're carving out time. Okay. For activities that replenish your energy and bring you joy. That's such a good reminder. Yeah. Sometimes I get so caught up in the whole dating game, right, that I forget to prioritize. It's easy to fall into that trap. Yeah. But remember, you're at your best. Yeah. When you're feeling balanced and energized. That makes sense. And that makes you more attractive to others. Okay, so we've talked about the importance of shared interests. Yeah, leveraging our network, being authentic. Yes, practicing active listening. Right, and even prioritizing self-care. Exactly. Is there anything else we should be keeping in mind as we navigate? Yes, there were a few specific tips that stood out. Okay, lay them on me as being particularly helpful for introverts. I'm ready. Okay, one tip that came up repeatedly was to focus on quality over quantity. Meaning, instead of trying to go on as many dates as possible, yeah, focus on creating meaningful connections, right? Even if that means going on fewer dates overall. So it's better to have one amazing conversation, yes, with someone who really gets you, exactly, than 5 lukewarm dates with people you don't really connect with. And this ties back to everything we've been talking about, yet shared interests, active listening, authenticity. Yeah, when you focus on those qualities, yeah, you're more likely to attract people who are compatible with you. Okay, I'm on board with that. Good, quality over quantity. What else? Another tip that several sources highlighted, yeah, was to be mindful of your body language. Oh, like smiling and making eye contact. Exactly. I know that's important. It is, but it can be a bit awkward. I hear you. But even if you're feeling a bit shy or nervous, yeah, making an effort to project open and approachable body language, okay, can make a big difference. So even if I'm not the most outgoing person in the room, yes, I can still signal that I am open to connecting. Exactly. Smiling, making eye contact, okay, maintaining an open posture, right? These are all subtle cues, that can make you more approachable and inviting. And it's not about faking it. No, it's about putting your best foot forward. Precisely, it's about showing the world that you're confident, right, approachable, and open to connection. Okay, body language check. What other gems? What other gems did they have for us? One that I found particularly insightful, okay, was to focus on building rapport, okay, before asking for a date. Interesting. So don't just jump right in with, right, you want to grab coffee sometime. Gotcha. Instead, focus on establishing a connection first, right? Engage in conversation, okay? Find common ground and show genuine interest. And then if the conversation is flowing, exactly, and there seems to be a spark, yes, it feels more natural to suggest, right, taking things offline. It's not about playing games, right, or manipulating the situation. Yeah, it's about respecting, right, the natural progression of getting to know someone. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, build rapport, then see where things go. Exactly. Any other advice? One last tip that I thought was particularly relevant for introverts. Okay, don't be afraid to initiate contact, okay, but do it in a way, yeah, that feels authentic to you. So we don't have to be the ones making the first move all the time, right? But we shouldn't shy away from it either. Exactly. And it doesn't have to be a goal as, yeah, sending a follow-up message, yeah, after a conversation, right? Or suggesting grabbing coffee sometime. Okay, that feels manageable. Good. It's about taking initiative, yes, but on our own terms. Precisely, yeah. And that ties back to the overarching theme of his whole deep dive. Embracing your introverted strengths, yeah, and using them to your advantage in the dating world. I love that, yeah. It's not about trying to change who we are, right? It's about owning our authentic selves and letting those qualities shine. And when you do that, you attract people, yeah, who appreciate and value you, right, for who you truly are. That's a powerful message. It is, yeah. It makes sense. Instead of trying to force a connection, you're letting it unfold organically. But I'm curious, did any of the sources talk about The fear of rejection. Oh yeah, because that's a big one for me. Oh yeah, and I know a lot of introverts struggle with that. Yeah, several sources touched on that. One article written by a therapist specializing in social anxiety, suggested reframing rejection as a learning experience. How so? Instead of viewing it as a personal failure, right? Try to see it as an opportunity to learn more about yourself, and what you're looking for in a partner. So each interaction, even if it doesn't lead to a date, it's valuable data, exactly, and it helps you refine your approach, and get closer to finding someone who's truly compatible with you. That's a great way to look at it, it takes the pressure off, absolutely, and makes the whole process feel less intimidating. Another source, a dating coach, shared a really helpful analogy. He compared dating to a game of darts. I'm intrigued. He said that not every dart you throw is going to hit the bullseye, right? But the more you practice, the better your aim becomes, the more likely you are to hit your target. So it's not about being perfect, exactly. It's about being persistent, right? And learning from each experience, exactly. And each miss is just another opportunity, right, to adjust your aim and get closer to hitting the bullseye. I like that, It's a much more forgiving way to think about dating. It is, especially for those of us who tend to overthink things. Absolutely, and it ties back to what we were discussing earlier about self-compassion, right? Dating can be a roller coaster of emotions. Oh yeah, and it's important to be kind to yourself throughout the process. That's so important. It is. We put so much pressure on ourselves, we do, to find the one, that we forget to enjoy the journey, right? And the truth is, the more relaxed and authentic you are, the more likely you are to attract someone who appreciates you, for who you truly are. That makes a lot of sense, So if I'm feeling nervous or self-conscious, right, it's better to acknowledge those feelings, than to try to suppress them. Exactly, and you might even find, that sharing your vulnerability makes you more relatable and attractive. Interesting, it's like we've been conditioned to believe, that confidence is all about rejecting this image of flawlessness, but maybe true confidence comes from embracing our imperfections. I think you're onto something, Vulnerability can be incredibly powerful, right? Especially in a world where everyone is trying so hard, to present a perfect image. It's refreshing to hear that it takes the pressure off. It does. Trying to be someone I'm not. Exactly. So to recap, we've talked about shared interests, active listening, authenticity, self-care, body language, reframing rejection, and embracing vulnerability. It feels like we've covered a lot of ground. We have, and I think the common thread running through all of these points, is the importance of being true to yourself. Absolutely. It's not about trying to become someone you're not, right? It's about using your introverted strength, to create genuine connections. And those connections can lead to incredible relationships, both romantic and platonic. That's a great point. This advice isn't just limited to dating. No, it's not. It's about forming meaningful connections in all areas of our lives. Exactly, and that brings me to a final thought-provoking question. I'm all ears for our listener, If you could design your ideal first date, what would it look like, right? Where would you go? What would you do? And most importantly, how would it make you feel? Ooh, it's a good one, It encourages our listener to not just think about the logistics of dating, but also to consider, the emotional experience they're hoping to create. Exactly. It's about envisioning a date, right, that feels authentic and enjoyable. A date that allows you to shine, as your true introverted self. I love it, and I have a feeling our listeners can have some brilliant ideas. I agree. So let's turn it over to our listener. What's your ideal first date? That's a great way to look at it, It's not just about finding a date. It's about crafting that experience, that feels good and genuine. And, maybe by picturing that ideal date, right, you'll stumble upon some unexpected ideas, for places to meet people or ways to connect. Absolutely. It's all about tapping into, your own desires, right? Your own preferences, and using that knowledge to guide your action. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the biggest takeaway for me, is this idea that introversion is not a limitation, right? It's a strength. It is. We've got all these incredible qualities, empathy, deep thinking, the ability to form these strong connections, and it's about time we started owning this. I completely agree, and what's been so encouraging, is seeing how many of these sources, right, from dating coaches to psychologists to everyday guys on Reddit, right, They're celebrating introversion. Yeah, and offering this practical advice, right, for navigating the dating world authentically. It's like a whole new perspective on dating. Yeah, that feels empowering and encouraging rather than intimidating. Yeah, and I think that's a powerful message to leave our listener with. I agree. You don't have to change who you are, no, to find love. No, in fact, embracing those introverted qualities, yes, might be the key to attracting someone, absolute, who truly appreciates you for you. Exactly. So to our listener out there, remember, you are awesome just the way you are. You are. Embrace your strengths. Be patient with yourself and trust that the right connections will emerge. They will when the time is right. Absolutely. And remember, dating is a journey, not a destination. That's right. Enjoy the process, learn from your experiences, and never lose sight of your own worth. That's so important. All right, folks, that wraps up our deep dive into meeting women as an introvert. It does. We've covered so much today, from understanding your strengths to practical tips for connecting authentically. We have. And most importantly, we've learned that dating as an introvert can be a fulfilling and enjoyable experience. It can be. So go out there, be yourself, and trust the journey. You got this.